Okay, so I was tinkering around today in GoHighLevel as I do when I don't have anything else to do. And my case today was I was paying one of my VAs, and in paying my VAs, I started to think like, how can I make this easier for myself? How can I keep track of payments? I don't have employees, so payroll is not a necessity. I never want to find myself in payroll hell, but this is a way for me to be able to track payments and make the system work for me. So here's what I'm looking at today. I am looking at creating a semi small payroll payment tracking system for small business users who want to have a system in place and want to keep some records. That way, it's easier when they move forward. So I created that in GoHighLevel, and this is what it looks like. So the first thing was a form. Okay, how do I capture the information for my capture the information? What do I want them to give me to make my life easier? Okay, so I created this form where they can use a drop down for whatever contractor's name. They plug their information in. What is the pay period start and end date? And then I took a look at the time for the summary. So I created a couple of custom fields for hours and a way to capture documents here. And then, for them to put some notes in there and hit submit on it, and so this immediately made it super easy for them. They know what to expect, they know what to input, and it all aligns. So when they send, instead of them just sending me an email with the information, now this information is logged into the CRM. Okay, so once that information is logged, the second step I did take was to create a workflow or a series of workflows to kind of manage this. So I wanted to be able to get them, let them know that I received their information and then I was working on processing it. And then when I processed it, I would then follow up with them and say, hey, I've processed your payment. It's been sent, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I particularly use Wise to make my payments to my assistants. That is easy for me, but it could go with any payment, process that you use. Okay, so I created the first workflow. And if you take a look at the workflow, once that form is submitted, it's assigned to myself. It creates a task for me to review. And then it starts its processing. So it pulls all the tags that I want it to have. So payment processed, or payment submitted. It creates an opportunity, and then it kind of goes down into what happens from there. So since I'm a nerd and a tech geek with, and I want to make things like it's super simple, I created some math equations in here, so I didn't have to do the math on my own. Okay, so in here, if you look at one of these, once they select, their name, fill out their information, the form gets submitted here, and then it goes into the math conversion where it takes their time that they submit, converts it into a billable hour decimal, number, and then I can multiply that but times the pay rate that I'm paying them. Okay, and so this workflow calculates all of that, tags and bags, each submission with different tags, and then it goes into notifying myself on what is happening, updating their opportunity, and then it sends them a confirmation email. And so I'll pop one of these open just so you can see, and let's see if we can make this big so it's easier. But then it takes all that data that we just, that they inputted, the math calculations that it did, and it sends them a nice little pretty confirmation email that says, hey, your payment has been submitted and received, the pay period, what you submitted for hours, what I'm using to calculate, the payment, and then what I'm actually, what you can expect to see from that payment. And so I thought that was a nice little touch, because it's always nice to know, the math behind it once you submit something. Okay, and then the second step of this is once I go in and make the payment through my system, I go ahead and update the pipeline stage for them, and it sends them another email that says, hey, your payment has been processed, and allow for processing times, and if you have any questions, yada yada, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, again, it does what I need it to do. So after the payment is processed, it continues to tag them as payment process. It creates a note in their contact so I know when the last payments were processed, and it updates the pipeline so I know, how people are getting paid. And if I still owe people payments, and then it just collects and does a running tally of my VA payments that come out of my business. And so I thought that was a really quick way for me to kind of standardize my process and give me a little bit of flexibility and not be able to lose track of when I'm making payments to my VA. So hopefully that helps you. Payment tracker system for GoHighLevel. You can use it across many different fields. It can extend to VAs, employees, however you want to work it. But hopefully that helps. And that's all I got for now.
Running a business is about focus. It's about having the right environment to do your best work. It's about the systems that keep you organized and ensure your clients remain at the heart of everything you do. If this gave you direction today, we're building systems like this inside the school community, so your business actually feels easier to run day to day. Join us when you're ready. You'll find the link in the description box. We are excited to build with you.